All right, Milton, Florida, let me hear you! That is what I like to hear, but let's do a little test. This side, let me hear you. All right, this side over here, let me hear you. Wow, that'll wake you
Here you go. Thank you, Mr. Donnie. How we doing all tonight here in Milton, Florida, huh? We'll do a little quick recap after what happened at the last show. I defended the CWF Championship twice in one night against King Marshall and Manimal. Barely scraped out of that. Then, of course, Mr. Marshall Briggs destroys my arm, or at least attempts to, before the match with Division Orion. I struggled, I crawled, I cried almost at the pain and anguish that I took as he was ripping my arm out of the socket almost every single time. But ladies and gentlemen, the Bullhawk doesn't know when to give up. And I was this close until those lights came out. And then Marshall Briggs stood at that entrance, distracted me, and then, of course, the Orion hit me with one of the hardest chair shots in the back right here. I still feel it since last month. But ladies and gentlemen, once I saw those lights, those blinding lights as that form came down and destroyed me, and of course I lost the CWF Championship, I had to think a long, long time. I had to realize that the Flowhawk, in spite of being here for the past 3 years, I have to evolve. I have to get better. I have to be the best version of me, not just for you, but for everybody here at CWF, to take that belt once again off of Division Orion, to have that belt back where it belongs with the Flowhawk. But of course, in order to do that, I have to go against one of TNA's best, ladies and gentlemen, and he is KC Navarro.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, TNA's own KC Navarro. KC Navarro gonna make his debut here at the CWF, and a little bit later on the show, he's gonna be taking on Justin Flo, and as I said, a lot on the line there for Justin Flo in that matchup, Darion.
That's right. If Justin Flo fails to beat KC Navarro, he will not get a rematch for the CWF Championship.
Justin Flo, former champ. Nice to meet you, man. KC Navarro. Pleasure. Now, real quick, let me just introduce myself. Milton, Florida! CWF! I got one question, 2 words. Who's blessed? Now, Justin, I heard the story, man. Champion for 300 long days! 300 long days, man. Man, that's one hell of a run, man. I get it, man. I get it. I mean, it seems like you earned all these people's respect. Am I right? And when I got called to be here, I was told that if I beat you, I get a shot at the title. And if you don't beat me, you never get a shot again. Oh, I'm not underestimating him. He's great. The only thing is, I'm blessed. And you're going up against one of the best in the world, and I told you. I said it yesterday. I'm not coming here to rain on your parade, man. But you go and get your title back, that has nothing to do with me. It's not my concern. For me, I just want to put on a good show for these people. For me, I just want to have a good match. For me, I want to just keep proving why I am where I'm at and why I'm blessed. Tonight, Justin Flo, I'm going to prove just one thing. I prove to everybody on CNA every week. And that's, if you ain't first class, you're last.
Here he is,
There he is, the new CWF champion, coming out to, I guess, perhaps eye up two future contenders. KC Navarro, who's just let it be known, if he wins, he gets a shot. And as everybody now knows, if Flo wins, he gets a shot, but if he loses, he don't get nothing.
That's right, if he loses, it's back of the line for him. But now, Orion here to size up both options.
Let me look at you. Love it. Now, here's the thing, gentlemen. Tonight, you guys are going to war. Tonight, you're going to absolutely beat the hell out of each other for these people's entertainment, as well as my own. But here's the cold hard facts. You're gonna lose. You're just not good enough. I proved that last month, and he'll prove it tonight. But for you, I know who you are. I know the things you've done. You are incredible. But I give you a warning. When you win, look elsewhere. There's other championships, there's other contenders. Do not come after this. Because as he learned last month, because he was blinded by his own ego, weren't you? You found out the hard way that violence is the only way. Hit me. There's one lesson here to learn, boys. I'm the champion. This championship goes nowhere. To learn, I have the one true vision. And tonight, you'll both see it.
Well, there we have it. Orion laying it on the line, saying, do not challenge him.
Giving fair warning to KC Navarro. Navarro doesn't seem intimidated. And a handshake of good sportsman there, good sportsmanship there between Flo and Navarro, so.
I guess, sure.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've heard from all three men. It's time for our first matchup of the evening.
The following is a tag team contest scheduled for one fall. And a big round of applause for our referee, Mr. Jay the Legend. And it is for the CWF Tag Team Championship. At this time, will both teams please make their way to the ring?
And here we go, folks, our first contest of the night. And we are starting off Conspiracy with some tag team action, as the tag team titles will now be put on the line. And here we have another part of the equation, someone who is in the Enterprise with Justin Flo. That is the so-called most dangerous man in wrestling, Jet Danger. A dangerous man, but not so sure if he's the smartest man going against, choosing against the Enterprise that once housed him. Just recently making his return to Coastal Wrestling Federation. That is that boy, SoCal. And I can see he's feeling himself tonight. He's ready and willing to capture some CWF Tag Team Gold, but can he succeed? Will his dreams light up like his jacket, or will he fail tonight? Only time will tell. But we won't have to wait long. And here's a guy I've recently gone to war with. And I know exactly how tough he is. Oh, he ain't trying to hear it right now, but just know he's ready for a fight right now. But who will his tag team partner be? That is the question. Of course, Rob Ocho competing in the gauntlet later on tonight. Who will step up as his partner? Oh, wait a minute. Well, when the lights go out and the thunder sounds, we know what that means. Martial law is taking effect. Of course, when the owner of CWF walks into the arena, there's only one thing you do. You can stand up and show appreciation to the man who runs this whole thing, who built this whole thing. I see some in the audience smart enough to know they show appreciation, and some not so smart, showing disrespect. They don't even deserve to be here, but they are lucky they are in the presence of not only Marshall Briggs, but Nathan Sims. Even with all the issues I personally had with them that are subsided currently. Former tag team champions together. These two right here, Nathan Sims, Marshall Briggs, a story as old as the existence of CWF. They have gone to war against each other. They have gone to war with each other. It looks like they're going to war with each other one more time tonight to defend the CWF Tag Team Championship. One laying down the law to the people, the other laying down the law to their opponents. Looks to be a mixed reaction right now. Half of these people showing respect, half of these people showing disrespect.
And now, at this time, allow me the privilege to introduce the participants. To my right, the challengers. Teaming together, they are both singles champion. Introducing first, a former D1 champion, the most dangerous man in professional wrestling, Jet Danger. And his tag team partner, he is a former CWF champion. This is So Cold. And introducing next, to my left, they are the reigning, defending CWF Tag Team Champions, the Knockout, Nathan Sims, and the owner of the CWF, Marshall Briggs.
Showing what it's all about in this contest, the CWF Tag Team Championship.
The bell is rung, and here we go. The first match of CWF Conspiracy. And it is a tag team contest. The tag title's on the line. On one side, we have Jet Danger and Soko teaming for the very first time. Both men are former singles champions, never held the tag titles, and they're going up against
a very seasoned team of Nathan Sims and Marshall Briggs. Two people who have held tag team championship together in the past.
Nathan Sims was awarded the tag team titles on an episode of CWF Recoil. Those belts stripped from the Retro Rebels because the Retro Rebels didn't have a decisive victor in their match.
The rules were laid down to the Retro Rebels. They chose to ignore them, so they were stripped of the titles.
I was interviewing Marshall Briggs on CWF Recoil. You can see that interview on our YouTube page. And he just told me then and there that Nathan Sims and Rob Ocho were the tag team champions. Nathan Sims now a 3-time CWF Tag Team Champion. Rob Ocho now a 2-time. But Rob Ocho is competing in the D1 gauntlet that you'll see later on tonight, so Marshall Briggs has stepped in for him. All are members of the Enterprise. Jet Danger now working the headlock.
And looks like there's a possibility of the titles being defended in the Freebird rule, while Jet has that headlock takeover.
Jet Danger has been proving himself very much here in CWF, has teamed multiple times, but has never teamed with Soko before.
But at the moment, it didn't even matter because he's got a tight grip on Nathan Sims. I should say had a tight grip.
Had a tight grip indeed. Doing the arm drags now to Nathan Sims. And a drop kick on a Nathan Sims. Jet Danger going at it. Picking up steam. Colliding into Nathan Sims in the corner. Snapmare now. Bouncing off the ropes. And colliding right into him. And now Soko gonna try to go for the pin. Soko and Nathan Sims know each other very well.
Jet Danger using this speed while also doing quick tags, exactly what you need to do.
Great tag team synchronicity here for this new team of Jet Danger and Soko. Didn't qualify for the D1 Gauntlet, but got this, I guess in a way you could call it a consolation prize. The tag team championships, though, very prestigious in their own right.
But look at it. Nathan Sims knows SoCal so well. Easily spoke too soon. Looks like the table's turned right back.
And there's a chop to the chest. They could have heard that 2 counties over. And now Soko slowing it down. Working on the wrist of Nathan Sims. Now Soko. That wrecking ball and wrestling boots walking the top rope.
Some of that big shouldn't be at the top rope.
Up and over he goes. And he about tears Nathan Sims' arms out of the socket. Nathan Sims missing, cut, up and over, falling right down on his back.
Gravity is nobody's friend.
Soko saying, get up, I got more, and a boot to the head. And it could be over right here. We could have new champions. Marshall Briggs able to save it for his team.
You know, I know a thing or two about a boot to a face.
You've, last year you got a big boot to the face from Chris Mason, who will also
that
be
is
in that.
not what I mean, smart ass.
Well, I did get good grades in school.
I doubt that.
I got a diploma. And now, suplex from Jet Danger, who's perhaps going to graduate to a champion. No.
Not even a 2 count.
Not even a 2 count. Nathan Sims and Marshall Briggs have
back to that headlock.
Have been champions before. Won the titles last year in 24. Ironically, the whole point of winning the title was to keep them away from the Enterprise, and now they make up the Enterprise.
Of course, the Enterprise being Marshall Briggs, Nathan Sims, and Rob Ocho.
Used to also consist of Jet Danger and his mentor, Justin Flo, but there was a schism. Justin Flo and Jet Danger went one way. Marshall Briggs went the other with the rest of them.
Did you just learn a fancy word? You just throw it on top of everything, as much as you say schism?
Well, there was a tear, there was a rip. What word do you want me to use? Well, what word I might use right now is that Soko has been tagged back in. And now Soko staring down Marshall Briggs.
No, I don't think you understand. Marshall told Jet to tag Soko back in. He wants a piece of the former CWF champion.
And now Marshall Briggs
just on his time.
Gonna go to the outside. Take a moment perhaps to rest, come up with a new strategy. I don't blame him. Soko, a very dangerous competitor. He defeated Nathan Sims for the CWF title. Nathan Sims would win it back later in a vicious last man standing matchup. Marshall Briggs now just walking around the ring like a shark, just circling its prey, if you will.
That's exactly how you get the job done. You do things on your terms, your time.
Briggs now going to
rest up, stay fresh.
Briggs now going to get back in, and it looks like we're going to continue here. And I can't remember the last time, if ever, these two were staring up. Collar and elbow tie-up now. Both men perhaps just testing each other out, just seeing how strong the other is. And I think Marshall Briggs just found out Soko throwing him around like dirty laundry.
What is with you and dirty laundry? And not only that, calling your boss dirty laundry.
I did not call him
you
dirty
straight
laundry.
up called
I just
your
said
boss
he threw him
dirty
around
laundry.
like
That is
dirty
exactly
laundry.
how you lose your job. I don't know how you still have a job.
Well, right now,
Just like I don't know how Soko has an arm right now.
Marshall Briggs with the headlock, slowing things down, trying to perhaps squeeze some air out of the lungs of the bigger man. Soko, though, able to get out of it, reverse out of it, and now has a headlock applied to Marshall Briggs. Marshall Briggs teaming once again with Nathan Sims, a man who he has at times flat out hated. In 22, they had a
I already got
three-stage.
to that part, Donnie. You can say something else.
Well, right now, what I'll say is that Soko is deep in enemy territory. The Enterprise going to work on him, and this is very smart of them. Keep the bigger man isolated, keep him from getting going, and make sure he stays away from his partner so he can't tag in the fresher man.
The Jet trying to take a swipe. The referee didn't see it. He sees this.
Well, this is a tremendous opportunity for Soko and Jet Danger. Normally, a team has to grind away, fight, stretch, and claw to get a shot at the tag team titles. And these two just really, Marshall Briggs giving them an opportunity. Although you got to admit
And
a little.
that's the thing. That's the thing. He keeps giving people opportunity. He's given these two opportunity. He's gave Caden Marks 2 opportunities at the CWF title, but yet people call him a tyrant.
Of course, you have a match against Caden Marks later on tonight. Good luck. And now,
Yeah,
the
good luck doing
Boston
something I did
Crab
before.
locked in good and tight. That pain shoots up and down the legs into the spine, but Soko able to get the bottom rope. Marshall letting it go.
Causing as much damage as possible.
But man can't stand, he can't fight. And when you're a bigger competitor like Soko, you rely on those tree trunks that he calls legs to support that frame and get you moving.
On top of that is the lower back. That is where the strength lies.
Jet Danger wants to perhaps tag in, but if he's an inch, he's a mile. But Soko going to try to tag in. And Nathan Sims neutralizing Jet Danger.
Soko didn't have the wherewithal.
And now Nathan Sims working in synchronicity with Marshall Briggs. You talked about the lower back. You see Nathan Sims is concentrating all his kicks on that lower back.
You can't stand, you can't lift, you can't do anything.
And now dropping the hammer on that lower back, that lower spine. That is not for Soko's chiropractic benefit, let me assure you. Now Nathan Sims.
Which is not covered in our benefits package, if we have one.
I think we'll need to look into that. Right now, what I'm looking into is Soko's on the outside, Nathan Sims, the legal man on the inside. Jet Danger and Soko do not want to lose by count out. I mean, I cannot stress, you know, they've never been a team before. This
I would
is a
say
rare
they wouldn't want to
opportunity.
lose this match at all, but that's just me. But you're right. The match can only, the tag team titles, I should say, only change hand by pinfall or submission. Count out, disqualification will not get it done. And what Soko is having a hard time getting done is getting to his feet.
Soko trying to get back up to his feet. Been taking a lot of damage from both Marshall Briggs and Nathan Sims. But Soko with some fight left in him, laying in those forearm blows on Marshall Briggs, but Nathan Sims has just neutralized Jet Danger on the outside, slamming him into that steel post. Marshall Briggs almost knocked out of his boots there. Soko.
Soko trying to get to his feet. Unfortunately, he didn't have a partner to go to.
Well, not only that, you got to think that damage on the lower back is paying dividends. It probably hurts him to even move a muscle.
And should Jet get back in this match, does he still have a partner?
Jet Danger, as we said, has teamed before. Soko has been in tag team contests before, but this is their first time teaming together. And I guess you could say what unites them is their disgust, their distaste for the Enterprise.
And that's something that's very hard to do, like be on the same page. Their first match teaming up together with seeded championship gold on the line.
But Jet Danger showing why he is perhaps the most dangerous man in professional wrestling when it comes to fighting like an angry Slinky.
What?
Missing with the clothesline
What?
from the second row, and he climbing right into Nathan Sims. He's hooking the leg. We can have no, we don't.
Why a Slinky? What is wrong with you?
Because the Slinky bounces around and Jet Danger
Shut
is
up,
bouncing
Donnie.
around.
It looks like
Jet Danger scooping up Nathan Sims, slamming him down. Could be over, no.
Nathan Sims not going down that easy.
Jet Danger is in many ways a giant killer here in the CWF.
Looks to
Able to
have
stand
like a-
toe-to-toe with men much taller than him. Case in point right here. And now,
Bringing him to his corner with the Dragon Sleeper. Big man getting back in the match.
snapmare now on to Nathan Sims. Wait, here we go. Some tag team synchronicity. Just using Jet Danger like a weapon. Soko going to try to end it here. Nathan Sims able to kick out. But that's got to expel a lot of energy every time he is kicking out. Almost no.
Every single time you kick out takes a little bit more. You have to get the strength in your legs from thrust outward to get your shoulder up out of the mat.
Nathan now going to put in a little distance between him and Soko. This crowd chanting Soko, Soko. Those cheers, they got to do wonders for you. Get the blood pump, get the adrenaline going, and ooh, right onto that top rope there.
Physically, they do nothing. They are in the fight on their own.
Well, now Marshall Briggs tagged back in. Marshall Briggs, as we said, stepping in for Rob Ocho, doing a very good job because him and Nathan Sims have a lot of experience teaming together. And now,
By the way, Rob Ocho, good luck in your match later on.
now the submission hold, locked in good and tight. Marshall Briggs making sure that he is between Soko and those ropes. Soko is right there in the middle of the mat. He's going to have to break the strength under his own power. He can't go for a rope break.
Here
And now,
goes it,
once again, you saw Nathan Sims attacking Jet Danger.
Double
while his back was
whammy.
turned.
Is
Referee,
he gonna tap?
how is this even allowed? But Jet Danger, even in the odds, a curb stomp on Nathan Sims. Nathan Sims has been knocked out. And now a shove of defiance onto Marshall Briggs. Marshall Briggs giving it right back. And now, Jet Danger not intimidated by Marshall Briggs, and he's going to try to go blow for blow. Up and
Ooh.
over he goes for his trouble to the outside.
And he was tossed out like what? Go ahead, say the
Tossed
thing
out
now.
like a man getting thrown over the top rope. And now, speaking of a man, it's mano-a-mano, one-on-one right now inside the ring. Soko, Marshall Briggs, both men trying to accomplish something. Soko, he wants the tag team titles. Marshall Briggs wants to keep them.
People are erupting in this opening contest. Exactly what you want to see at Conspiracy. Blow for blow.
Soko, reverse Irish whip into the ropes. Marshall Briggs slamming it right into the mat. And all that damage that has been done to Soko. He has to be feeling it.
What's that?
Wait a
Who are
minute.
these two?
Wait a minute. Two competitors coming into the ring, stomping down on Soko and Marshall Briggs. What the heck is going on? This is a disqualification. Ladies and gentlemen, your winners via disqualification, Soko and Jet Danger. No, excuse me, your winners via disqualification, the Enterprise. What is going on here?
And
What was that? That's Dirk Darkson, Dream Girl Ellie, and a new face here at the CWF. But
Straight out of the Dark Arts gym.
Ellie, I haven't seen you in a while. These two on your sides I've never seen before. I'm about to come shut your son. Sit down and shut up. Hey, you two want to fight? Let's go right now.
We're not fighting. This was a warning. What Dirk and Ronan can do. You're welcome. You have nothing that we want. CWF has nothing that we want.
Oh, Ellie. What was your moniker? Dream Girl? Something like that? I think you're dreaming. We got everything they want. You guys want a piece of us? We'll defend the tag titles right here, right now.
what?
An impromptu match.
An impromptu tag team title match. He's the owner. He can do that if he wants.
Sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Ring the bell.
the bell is rung, and the Enterprise, Marshall Briggs and Nathan Sims, won the match by won their first contest by disqualification due to the interference of the team that they're facing right now, Dirk Darkson and Ronan Laveau.
As Soko and Jet Danger currently scramble to gather what happened and take themselves to the back.
People may remember Dirk Darkson. He made his debut here in the CWF last month, and now both members just going to work on Marshall Briggs and Nathan Sims. Ronan Laveau here, the other competitor, I don't have much on him. I don't know what their affiliation is with Ellie either. Well, the titles are on the line. Marshall Briggs made it official.
After going toe-to-toe with Jet Danger and Soko,
And now,
you gotta think both of these two are spent.
both these two are spent indeed. I know Marshall Briggs doesn't like being one-upped in his own house. Going for the pin here, no.
Still has enough energy for the kick out at a 1.
The man currently in the ring, Dirk Darkson, his tag team partner, Ronan Laveau. As I said, I don't have much on Ronan at this point in time. Dirk Darkson had his debut last month, and now he's challenging for the tag team titles with a new partner.
I know
Ellie's in their corner.
I know firsthand that Nathan Sims has heart and toughness, but how much?
Going for the pinfall here.
How much does he have left in him?
I don't know. We're going to find out here. Thrown into the corner. And now getting tackled into that
Driving
corner.
those shoulders straight into the sternum of Nathan Sims.
Ronan now in the ring. Laying it in. Marshall Briggs coming up behind him. Striking on Ronan. Referee Jay Blanchard trying to keep order here. And Ronan crashing into Marshall Briggs. But he crashes into Nathan Sims now instead. Nathan Sims tagging in Marshall Briggs.
Carnage is what this match has been so far.
Carnage is what this match is indeed.
That is what I just said, Donnie. Thank you for being a parrot.
What is apparent is we could possibly have new tag team champions, and I'm not talking about Soko and Jet Danger.
No, hold on. Don't count them out that quickly now.
Marshall Briggs stomping a mud hole there, and Ronan. Dirk Darkson still on the corner.
Taking out the leg.
As we said earlier, if a man can't stand, he can't fight. Nearly twisting that leg out of socket. You see Marshall Briggs clutching onto the upper thigh there, going for the pin attempt. No!
And as we know, like Marshall needs that leg for his offense, as quite a bit of it comes with leverage.
I don't know what this team was just trying to make a statement here, and it turned into a tag team opportunity for gold. Marshall Briggs slamming it down into the mat.
Sometimes you got to do what works. You got to call your shot.
But when you do a big move like that, it expels a lot of energy. And now Ellie calling Marshall's attention. Marshall better keep his attention on his opponent. Don't give Ronan a chance to catch his breath. And now,
what's
Darkson from the outside. And Nathan Sims head colliding with the edge of the mat.
He's got it. Is that,
and now,
that's a Kimura?
And now Ronan going for the Kimura lock. That's one of the most dangerous, most painful moves in all of MMA. It has submitted champions.
We've seen arms broken in this business by that very move.
Locks it in good and tight. Nathan Sims is trying to come to the aid of his partner. Marshall Briggs is gritting his teeth. And he tapped. Oh my God.
New tag team champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a surprising twist, here are your winners and the new CWF Tag Team Champions, Ronan Lowe and Derek Darkson.
Seen a lot of surprise twists here in the CWF, but never have I seen a team come in and be as dominant as that.
Ronan making his CWF debut.
Ronan makes his debut and he's already a champion, and Dirk Darkson in only his second match as a champion. And what's more,
you got a hell of a statement that they made. Called their shot.
They have the seasoned veteran mind of Ellie in their corner coaching them on. This is going to be a dangerous team.
But one thing's for sure, bad things happen when you try to one-up Marshall Briggs. You got to think, yeah, they're walking tall tonight. Will there be hell to pay later on?
There could very well be. Marshall Briggs is not a man that stays down for long. And well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, more on that, more on these new champions that we have as time goes on.
Because we sure don't have much on them right now. The fact that...
But now, you know, Darion, it's time for the D1 gauntlet to crown a new CWF D1 champion.
That's right, 5 men coming down one by one until one is left standing.
All right, well, let me get to it to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a first here at CWF. Ellie showing up with Dirk Darkson and Ronan Lowe. Now they're the CWF Tag Team Champions. How's that for a conspiracy? All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, more on that team as time goes on. But now, it is time to crown a new D1 champion. This is a D1 gauntlet matchup. The rules are simple. 2 men enter. When 1 man is pinned, the next competitor comes out, and that will repeat until there is only 1 left standing. Will the first 2 participants please make their way to the ring?
circle of the square circle. He better thank his lucky stars because it's the grace of some bad weather that he's even able to be in this match right now. As a matter of fact, he's lucky to have a shot at championship gold, as he just lost the tag team championship to qualify for this match. And this guy. Idiot. An absolute idiot. Why? Why do people like him? Why? The hell are you looking at?
Ladies and gentlemen, as stated, the following contest is a D1 gauntlet, and it is to decide the brand new CWF D1 champion. Introducing first, to my right, he is a former CWF Tag Team Champion, one half of the Retro Rebels, the uncle of the Square Circle, Desmond Hero.
Family Matters wasn't even that good.
He is also a former CWF Tag Team Champion, the other half of the Retro Rebels, the pop star, Johnny Romano.
Christina Aguilera was in fact better than Britney Spears. Is, I should say.
Darion, for only the second time, the Retro Rebels find themselves facing off against each other, and a bit of reluctance, perhaps not a bit of reluctance from Johnny Romano.
Oh, gee, if only they could have done this before, they would still have the tag team titles.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you may remember last month the Retro Rebels were involved in a qualifier match for this D1 gauntlet. Neither man won, so they were stripped of the tag titles by Marshall Briggs. Those tag titles now around the race of Dirk Darkson and Ronan Laveau. And right now, though, these two men are trying to concentrate on singles gold. They were a bit reluctant last time. The Enterprise came out and tried to assist both competitors, and neither man wanted the assistance. They wanted to win under their own merit. That match ended in a double pin. Speaking of pinfalls, Johnny Romano going for it? No.
If there's any good thing about this sequence right here is that these two have to fight again.
These two are going to fight again, but you need a winner. You need a victor. Although, you know, it's kind of funny. Marshall Briggs stripped them of the title, gives them the opportunity in this D1 gauntlet, but makes them face off against each other right here in the opening of this D1 gauntlet.
Doing the correct thing by going by quick pins. You want to end this sequence as quickly as possible, as you got three other competitors waiting to come into the ring.
Three other competitors indeed, including Curtis Waite, Chris Mason, and Rob Ocho. Swinging neck breaker onto Desmond Tebow.
Why does he keep looking up here? Why?
Well, Johnny Romano, he's very well aware that you have no love for him. You've been very vocal about it in the past. Johnny Romano off the ropes.
Because he's an asshole.
Language, Darion. Language.
Oh, I'm sorry to all the children listening. Somebody got to care about the kids.
Well, right now, in many ways, you could say that Desmond Tebow was a kid to Johnny Romano. Johnny Romano was a mentor of sorts to Desmond Tebow. Together, they won gold for the first time.
Everyone's a kid to Johnny Romano because he ages himself all the time as he tries to age this match.
Hey, the 90s aren't aged. They're retro. They're cool.
That's another word for old.
Rep was going for a Russian leg sweep, but Desmond Tebow, who has certainly watched his partner wrestle belly to belly. You got to think, one of the advantages that they have over each other is they've seen each other wrestle. They know their moves. But Johnny Romano has a lot more experience, saw that coming and got out of the way. Clothesline now.
And of course, you know that string of luck that Johnny has.
Johnny Romano is able to dig deep. A lot of people say he's not quite as serious as he should be, hooking the leg here. But I think he's being very serious right here, right now. Johnny Romano, in the past, has won multi-man matches as far as the D1 Scramble, or the D1 Championship is concerned. He won the D1 Scramble at Defiance last year, a match you also participated in.
Don't sass me, Donald.
Jawbreaker now to Johnny Romano, and that guaranteed him a shot at the D1 Championship. I guess you can say he's now getting that shot. Scooping him up, slamming him down, and now
He
the
needs to go for the
suspenders are
cover
off.
instead of worrying about his stupid
The
straps.
suspenders are off. Desmond Tebow flying right on top of his partner. Could it be over? No. Johnny Romano able to kick out.
And he wasted precious seconds doing it.
The frustration has set in now for Desmond Tebow. As we said, both men, it would seem, have agreed to just leave nothing.
Oh, he's looking to put it away here.
To leave nothing outside, to leave it all in the ring. They're going to give each other the best. Scooping him up into a small package, and he got him!
Why? How does this keep happening?
Ladies and gentlemen, Desmond Tebow has been eliminated.
Look at his luck streak. Oh, wait a minute.
And now, Rob Ocho coming out to pick the bones on Johnny Romano. Rob Ocho, who was a tag team champion, for those tag team championships now around the waists of new champions in Dirk Darkson and Ronan Laveau.
For the time being, anyway.
Rob Ocho planting his head right into the mat. It could be over for Johnny Romano. No! Johnny Romano, the pop star, like the 90s he represents, will not die easily. Will not go quietly into that night, to quote a very famous movie from the 90s.
Shut up.
Swinging neck breaker now.
Well, swinging the hips.
Suplex following it up.
A little Viva La Rasta action here. With a little bit of...
Fisherman suplex into the pin. No, still not enough. Johnny Romano, as you said, that luck streak, or as I like to say, that extra grit, starting to kick in.
You can't confuse grit with luck, Donnie. That's not a thing.
Rob Ocho, though, you gotta figure he has the advantage. He's the fresh man. Johnny Romano is already spent from going head to head with Desmond Tebow.
He's gotta stay focused. That's the key point. Is he has, and just like that,
eating two boots for his trouble from charging in now. Johnny Romano out of the way, colliding with that top turnbuckle.
he let the
Johnny
audience
Romano
rile it.
Brendan Spear, hooking the legs, and it's over.
He let the audience rile him up and paid for it.
Rob Ocho has been eliminated. participant, the Southern Brute, Chris Mason.
The Southern Brute, Chris Mason, one of the most intimidating men we have on this roster. Not to mention a beast that is well rested and has one goal in mind, and that is to pop the pop star. A quick handshake there of good sportsmanship, and Chris Mason.
I'm gonna throw up.
Chris Mason gonna actually give Johnny Romano a moment there to catch his breath.
Why?
That
Why
moment is
would he?
over.
Why would he?
Throwing Johnny Romano around.
Break him in half and end it.
Doing it right there, perhaps, almost breaking him in half. Once again, just tossing Johnny Romano around. Gonna hook the leg. Johnny Romano able to kick out, though. Johnny Romano so far has 2 pinfalls in this gauntlet match. But bad enough you got to face a third man who's fresh, but a third man that's as tall as Chris Mason. That's as
And
big
let's
as
not
Chris
forget
Mason.
that Chris Mason has not been pinned yet.
Spine buster onto the pop star. Johnny Romano still able to kick out.
Of course, he would have been pinned last month if it wasn't for my opponent later on, but that's a different story. Right now, he needs to focus on breaking Johnny Romano.
Of course, Chris Mason won his way into this match by winning that contest, that triple threat between you, Jace, and Jace Miles. Jace Miles ate the pin there. You almost had the victory, but not quite. I'm sure you and Manimal can settle up later on tonight. But now, Chris Mason with the clothesline about knocking
Short
Popstar
arm
out of his boots.
clothesline, I know very well. It does me a lot of good.
A move you used to great effectiveness in your repertoire.
Unfortunately, didn't get the job done here. What was it?
Going for the pin, but no. Johnny Romano, that seasoned veteran, calls Chris Mason slipping there for a moment. But a boot to the head. Johnny Romano's got to be spent. And Jay Blanchard, our referee, checking on him, probably concerned about the well-being of Johnny Romano. We certainly want to see Johnny continue to compete here in the CWF.
Who is we?
Well, we being me and all these people. Johnny Romano slipping up into a pin attempt here, and he got him! Oh my God! He got him! He got him! He slayed the Southern Brute!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Southern Brute, Chris Mason, has been eliminated.
This idiot just pinned Chris Mason.
How? How do you do that? But now,
Ladies and gentlemen, the final participant, Curtis Wake.
Curtis Wake, who made his debut a little bit earlier in the year here in the CWF.
This is what doesn't make sense about you.
I'm as flabbergasted as you are. Johnny Romano becomes the first man to get a pin on Chris Mason.
When did this luck, is this luck gonna run out with Curtis Wake? Please let it run out with Curtis Wake.
Curtis Wake, you know, got lucky and he drew the last spot, and he's going up against the man that started this
perfect
match.
ticket. He's the last man. He needs to stop talking and get the job done.
Qualified for this match by beating Jet Danger last month. This is his first shot at singles gold. Hooking the leg. Johnny, the pop star, able to kick out. The pop is still pumping in the
dancing,
star.
Donnie.
Johnny Romano slapping the mat.
Curtis Wake
As if to
slapping
say,
Johnny.
come on, baby, one more time. Much like the pop star he has on his shirt. Johnny Romano down, but now back on his knees, trying to get back to a vertical base. Curtis Wake gonna try to not let that happen. Laying in the strikes.
Oh, come on, Curtis. Put the kill shot.
Curtis Wake misses. Johnny Romano with the clothesline, knocking him into the corner. Johnny Romano, snapmare now. Curtis Wake gonna try to finish it here with a strike to the head. But Johnny Romano still able to kick out. Johnny Romano, been in it since the beginning. Pinned Desmond Tebow, pinned Rob Ocho, and most shocking of all, pinned the Southern Brute Chris Mason.
How is he the first? When does this luck run out?
Curtis Wake taking his time here, and this is very dangerous. Don't give Johnny Romano any time to catch his breath.
Keep his foot on the gas to get the job done to win the championship. Championship gold is on the line. He needs to act like it.
Acting like it right there, the pop star, but the pop star still back up to 1 foot, absorbing that blow. Curtis Wake gonna try to finish it perhaps in this next maneuver. Pop star down on the ground once again. Referee checking on him, perhaps seeing if the pop star even has enough to continue.
He could have took out his neck, but he's not going for the cover. He's admiring his handiwork.
You like to tell me the time to admire your handiwork is when you're watching a recap of the match, but not during the match.
Taunting Johnny, there.
Johnny Romano able to kick out.
Too little, too late.
Johnny Romano, only 1 pin away from winning singles gold here in the CWF.
There you go, deep headlock in it. Try to pop his head like a zit.
Trying to pop his head indeed. Everything is slowed down. Curtis Wake, the fresh man so far, has that headlock locked in good and tight right in the middle of the ring. Going to make sure that Johnny Romano can't reach out for one of the ropes to get a rope break. But this crowd starting to clap in rhythm, and that rhythm is reaching the ears.
Donnie.
That rhythm is reaching the ears of the pop star, and he's still got some pep in those steps. He's still got a dance to do. Right now, dancing that elbow into the sternum of Curtis Wake. The hold is broken. Johnny Romano with the clothesline now. Johnny Romano connecting again. Pin him, could be over. No! Curtis Wake able to kick out.
And he might have tweaked something in his neck trying to kick out of that.
Trying to clutch onto his neck.
Sometimes you try to get the best leverage you can, but when you try to get out of it, muscles don't work in your favor.
Johnny Romano turning him over, switching him around, going into a schoolboy. No!
Curtis Wake trying to realize where he's at, almost slipped away with
another one. Spear! Another Britney Spear! Gonna do it here! Yes! 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 We have a new champion!
This isn't happening. This isn't happening. Johnny is the D1. This is what? How?
Johnny Romano!
This is not happening.
Johnny Romano, the pop star, the man who has been almost a day one soldier. Since 2019, I have seen this man competing in the CWF. And now, finally, after 6 years of hard work, Johnny Romano is a singles champion here in the CWF. Congratulations, pop star. You've earned it.
Earned it with luck. A luck train he's rode all the way up here. I still don't understand how this happens. How is he this lucky?
It is not luck.
I disagree with that.
It is determination. They don't build them anymore like the pop star Johnny Romano.
That's because they're all retired, but that's a different story.
Soak it in, Johnny, just soak it in. Chris Mason, Desmond Tebow have come out here to congratulate him as well. Now they're gonna let the new champion soak it in. An adulation he very much deserves. Johnny Romano, I am proud of you.
I can't stand this. I can't stand this. Someone turned this song off. Why would anyone hug this man?
Well, once again, a congratulations to Johnny
Don't
Romano.
point at me, it's only a
I see
matter
ya,
of
Johnny.
time.
I see ya. Well, Darion, what a CWF conspiracy we've had so far.
I don't wanna
New
talk about it.
champions crowned in competitors that were basically new to this company, and now a new champion in Johnny Romano.
Not only did he pin Chris Mason, he pinned everybody in this gauntlet, and he's the new D1 champion. I'm gonna be sick.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a short intermission, but we will be back with more CWF
You will be back for the
Conspiracy.
fall of the Manimal Kingdom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we will be taking a short intermission. But after that intermission, we will be back with more CWF Conspiracy. Do not forget the concession stands are open, as well as our merchandise table. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we have a Sweet Caroline contest coming up here as soon as the ringside pin stand is able to get a license to this room.
the Manimal, Caden Marks. A dark cloud has descended upon the SRC Auditorium. And in that dark cloud, the only thing illuminated is one of the most dangerous beings in the Coastal Wrestling Federation. That is the Manimal, Caden Marks. The Manimal, Caden Marks, who has left a mark on many a competitor here at the CWF. And right now, those hungry predator eyes are gauged in, locked in on only one person. That it is my broadcast partner, Darion Drummond. Ladies and gentlemen, you may remember last month on our last edition of Voltage, Caden Marks was involved in a CWF Championship matchup with Justin Flo, and it was after that match that Darion Drummond does what he's been doing. He ran up from the announce table and he attacked Manimal. Now later on in the evening, Manimal thought, well, an eye for an eye, so he inserted himself in the triple threat matchup that Darion Drummond was involved in and pretty much cost Darion the victory. And the last thing Darion said before he headed to the back, looked right into the camera and said, "Manimal, you dead." And all the pageantry, all the intimidation that Manimal likes to do, likes to show off, it doesn't intimidate Darion Drummond. Darion Drummond has held gold in other companies. He has stared down Ice Road Titans. He has fought Wild Things. He has been in the company of turncoats. He has even faced down men that called themselves machines. And he has survived each and every encounter, and he told me Manimal is no different. The bell is rung, and here we go. The second half of CWF Conspiracy is underway. Darion Drummond pointing to the mat. I think the message is loud and clear. A little bit of show of disrespect there to Manimal. Shove now, and Manimal shoving him right back. And now, blocking the blow from Darion, but now Darion and Manimal just exchanging strikes right there in the middle of the ring. There isn't going to be a filling out process. These two men just want to beat the crap out of each other. Case in point with that clothesline. And now Darion Drummond retreating to lower ground. Going to take a moment and strategize. This is a tactic that he says a lot of people should employ. He practiced what he preaches here at the announce table. And there is a bit of history, ladies and gentlemen, between Manimal and Darion, and not just what I alluded to earlier. In Manimal's first match, when he competed for the very first time here in the CWF, he went up against Darion. Darion got that victory. The next matchup of note was when Manimal defended his title, the D1 title, in a gauntlet match and was able to pin Darion in that gauntlet match. So they are 1-1 essentially here. And now going to try to uneven that score here and get a victory and be 2-1 against the other man. Darion is a brawler, a street fighter, but he is a high school wrestler, and he doesn't mind going to that mat-based technical prowess when it so suits him. Right now, Manimal firmly in control with that headlock. Darion with the rope. Wasn't able to get the break there. Now pushed into the ropes. Bouncing off the other side. And a spear nearly breaking Darion Drummond in half. Darion Drummond having to use that middle rope, that middle turnbuckle to try to get back up to his feet. Manimal just closing in, has plenty more for Darion Drummond. Manimal doesn't take kindly to men attacking him. Well, his back's turned. Manimal proving his mettle time and time again. Has had wars with the likes of Jet Danger, with the Enterprise. Managed to beat Marshall Briggs in a Marshall Rules matchup. And now, colliding with all of his body into Darion Drummond. Going for the pin here. No, only a 2 count. Darion rolling away like a scalded dog. Perhaps going to retreat to the outside again. Perhaps thinking better of it. Then again, Darion might not be thinking of all, might just be acting on instinct. Case in point right here, he may have been playing possum. Laying in the blows to Manimal, laying in that knee now. Manimal now being held up by that second rope. And Darion Drummond using his environment as a weapon. Referee Jay Blanchard making sure he breaks the 5 count. Darion Drummond was incensed earlier when the pop star Johnny Romano won the D1 title. That only added to the frustration and anger of Darion, and now he has a target, an outlet for all that frustration and anger onto Manimal. And I think he's exercising some demons, if you will, right now onto Manimal's frame. Picking up speed, colliding into Manimal right there. Manimal falling down now on his knees. On his side. Darion gonna try to end it, hooks the leg. No, only a 2 count. Laying that knee into the side of the Manimal. Laying in that knee again. And now, I talked about it earlier. Darion Drummond, a brawler, a street fighter, but can lay the submissions in when he deems it necessary. Earlier this year, even got a win over Nathan Sims in a submission matchup. So he has mat-based prowess when it so suits him. That's just not how Darion normally likes to get the job done. Likes to instead rely on his nastiness and sheer tenacity. Thought he might be going for a net breaker, thought better of it and just laying in another blow to the spine of Manimal. Hooking the leg, no. Manimal able to kick out. Manimal, a former tag team champion, a former 2-time D1 champion. That D1 championship now around the waist of Johnny Romano. Once again, congratulations, Johnny. Manimal coming off back-to-back losses. Both of those were opportunities to win the CWF title. So he wants to get this win here and try to get back in contention. Darion, meanwhile, 2-1 in his last 3 outings. Wants to continue his winning ways. Perhaps be in line for a title shot. He might be eyeing that D1 title. This crowd chanting for Manimal. Short arm clothesline from Darion, and you see the grin on his face. He likes knowing that these people are seeing him inflict pain on one of their chosen heroes. What worked once will work again. Slice of the throat. Darion saying it's going to be over here. And now, missing with the clothesline. And a German suplex on a Darion Drummond. The Manimal still has some bite. Still has some fight left in him. Darion ain't stumped it all out. And now going for the pin. Darion able to kick out again, though. Darion now kind of an inverted bear hug here. A sitting down bear hug, perhaps. Just slowing things down, keeping Manimal centered in the ring where he can't reach those ropes for a rope break. Manimal's going to have to rely solely on his own power. So far able to, Manimal still on his knees. Reaching out for something, ain't gonna find anything, nothing but air there. But Manimal now back up to his feet, but getting plopped right back down there by Darion Drummond. Darion once again working on the ribs. And this is the strategy, if you will, of the brutality of Darion Drummond. He finds a part on your body and concentrates 95% of his offense on it. You saw him striking the ribs on both sides early in the match, and now just has that submission locked in, trying to make that pain, trying to use that pain to make Manimal tap out. Darion. Probably had the taste knocked out of his mouth there. Manimal back up to his feet. A clothesline. And another clothesline and a Darion. Darion now up on the shoulders, able to slip out. Laying in those knees to the frame of Manimal. Reverse Irish whip. Manimal has him up on the shoulders. And dropping him down on the mat. Has him on top. No, only a 2 count. This crowd still chanting for Manimal, Manimal. Title or not around his waist, he is still their champion. Manimal now back up to his feet. Throwing out the arm pad. And a super kick onto Darion. And another super kick. Now, Manimal. And a super kick right to the face of Darion Drummond. Manimal can sense the end. There is blood on the trail. There's blood in the water going for the pin. That cocky pin wasn't enough. Manimal has plenty more left in the gas tank, though, here for Darion. Darion trying to get back up to his feet. Manimal sizing him up, getting ready to strike. Darion turning around. Manimal has him up on his shoulders. Darion doing everything he can. Able to slip out. Darion signaling for the drive-by. Manimal had it planned, though. Now it's Darion up on his shoulders. Planted right into the mat. Manimal, though, not done. Gonna fly high. Gonna have flight in the middle of Kingdom. And he connects. And it's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, the Manimal, Caden Marks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Manimal, Caden Marks, evening the score with Darion Drummond. Darion clutching at his stomach there. Gave Manimal one heck of a fight, but he found out when you poke the Manimal bites. Darion can hardly stand. Jay Blanchard, our referee, checking on him. Manimal standing tall, picking up the victory here at CWF Conspiracy. What a big win it was. Climbing back up the ranks. And Darion, when he pulls himself back together, if he can make it back to the announce booth, is not going to be a happy camper. And a low blow onto Manimal. Darion Drummond once again attacking Caden Marks when his back is turned. Darion, what are you doing? The match is over. No, and a drive-by. A boom right to the head of Manimal, bites down from that low blow. If ever there was a sore loser, it's my broadcast partner, Darion Drummond. Darion, sometimes you disgust me. Darion Drummond clutches himself, but he's still pleased with his actions, grinning so wide he might swallow his ears. Well, folks, I figured with that pin, things would be settled between Manimal and Darion, but they ain't settled nothing yet. I would imagine. Darion gonna go to the back. Manimal has won the battle, but the war continues. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's as I said, nothing has been settled between Manimal and Darion Drummond, but up next, it is KC Navarro versus Justin Flo with a very stipulation. Should Flo win, he gets to name the event and stipulation for his championship rematch, but if he loses, he never gets to compete for the CWF title so long as it's held by Orion. That match coming up now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. And it is sponsored by Earl K's, Realtor of BHGRE Main Street Properties. With the following stipulation, if Flo wins, he gets to name the event and stipulation for his championship rematch. But if he loses, he will never again compete for the CWF title so long it is held by the Vision Orion. And should Navarro win, he gets a shot at the CWF Championship. And now, introducing the competitor. Introducing first. He is a former CWF champion. This is the Slow Hawk. Let's go!
is a strange sight to see here in the CWF at this time. Flowhawk competing in his first matchup in over 297 days without the CWF Championship around his waist. And it's as I've stated twice before, he wins this matchup, he gets a rematch for that title, but he has to go up against the debuting KC Navarro, coming to us by way of Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. KC Navarro, who here in his debut match, if he gets a victory, he gets a shot at the CWF Championship. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem joining me here on commentary, a voice we've never really heard here at the table, the owner of the CWF, Marshall Briggs. The bell is rung, and here we go. This is Donnie Harris Jr. alongside, for the very first time, Marshall Briggs.
This is not the first time, Donnie. I should dock your pay for forgetting the last time.
When was the, well, anyways, be that as it may, a handshake there of good sportsmanship from KC Navarro. And Marshall, the CWF is growing by leaps and bounds. Our names are everywhere. And look at the quality of talent that we have coming in here.
This is what you're going to see when you come to the Coastal Wrestling Federation live events, whether in Milton, Florida. There's a nice takedown there by KC. And there's Flo with the scissors there. Come on, Donnie, you got to call these spots, man.
Flo now eyeing down KC Navarro. The Flowhawk, Justin Flo, you guys have had, well, quite your differences here. And now going to do, no, not going to do a test of strength. Reverse hammerlock into a headlock takedown. KC Navarro now has him right there in the middle of the ring. Both men are speedster. Both men like to use their agility to their advantage. Flowhawk now able to get out of it, going to work on the wrist, working on the left wrist of KC Navarro.
You know, Donnie, for almost a year, I protected Justin Flo and the CWF Championship, but it turns out, see, look at that right there. Instead of celebrating, he should be going after KC. Go after KC!
KC now taking a moment to rest on the outside, has to the count of 10.
This is why he lost the championship. He doesn't know how to stay on somebody without the marshal holding his hand.
It's very odd to see him without that championship around his waist coming to the ring. It's a sight we saw many times, that championship now around the waist of the Vision Orion, who will be defending it later. Taking him down to the mat. KC Navarro on the top and getting in some slaps there.
I'd like to do that to you, Donnie.
Well, your abuse on your employees aside, right now Flowhawk shaking off that abuse. Headlock takedown once again.
Look at that. I'll give it to Flo. He does have one hell of a fighting spirit.
One hell of a fighting spirit indeed. Going for a pin attempt, no.
Oh.
A lot of new faces we're seeing here in the CWF. Two new faces who earlier in the night.
Donnie, call the match.
Right now, KC Navarro once again retreating to the outside for a moment. A sound strategy. Has to the count of 10 to get back in. Referee Jay Blanchard now only at 3. Flowhawk just shaking his head there saying, come on, man, get back in. I think I almost saw a smile on Flowhawk's face.
Well, he's very confident right now. He has a reason to be. He's in there with one of the TNA Wrestling's top new stars, KC Navarro. What an opportunity for the Flowhawk, Justin Flo. But, Donnie, it's also important to remember, if he loses this match, he will never again get a shot at the CWF Championship as long as Orion holds that title.
But should he win, he gets to pick the time, place, and stipulation for a rematch.
That's true.
Although, if KC Navarro wins, he gets a shot. And you see the quick footwork of KC Navarro.
Oh, man.
KC Navarro just catches himself right in between those two ropes and stop the momentum. And now Flowhawk resting on that second rope.
KC running circles around the Flowhawk.
KC Navarro going for the 305, but missed it. but Flowhawk didn't mix with that drop kick. I don't think it connected quite as well as he liked.
We're going
But
flying.
going to
Oh.
the outside, but stopped himself. Like trying to call a NASCAR race here. These two men just going
Oh, he caught him.
to the outside, crashing onto Casey Navarro.
Come on.
Navarro essentially being a human flesh and blood crash pad for the former champion.
Donnie, did you mention our sponsor for this match? One of the great sponsors here in Milton, Florida.
Yes, I did. This match, of course, sponsored by Earl Caves, realtor of BHGRE Main Street Properties. We thank him for his
Absolutely.
sponsorship.
We thank you so much. And the CWF continues to try to grow and build relationships here, right here in the Panhandle of Florida and abroad, of course, as you see with Casey Navarro here in a CWF ring. That is the second TNA star, Donnie, in under a year.
Second TNA star in under a year. Of course, you were referring to the first TNA star that came in here, Moose. And Navarro almost getting thrown into that steel post, but was able to stop his momentum.
You know, something about Moose is how many times did we hear the Flowhawk talk about he has a victory over Moose? Is he going to be able to get a victory over another TNA star here tonight? There's a lot at stake, because if he does that, that'll be certainly something he can brag about. What a shot by the Flowhawk.
Sending him right into the barricade. Good thing we had that up. We don't want to hurt our fans here.
There's Mama Sims is over there. She's tough. She'll be fine.
Anyways.
She's tougher than you, too, Donnie. Just like everybody in the crowd.
I don't know. Anyways, back to the match. Casey Navarro back in the ring here, along with Justin Flo, going to get back in. Justin Flo took too long. Navarro saw his shot and he took it. Off the ropes.
Sling blade. Beautiful sling
A
blade.
beautiful, perfect 10 sling blade. Has the legs hooked, but Flo able to kick out.
Right here tonight, Milton, Florida, CWF Conspiracy. You've got the Flowhawk, one of the longest reigning CWF champions, taking on first class Casey Navarro.
Casey
What
Navarro,
a shot.
First class with that kick, going for the pinfall here. No.
Of course, the CWF will be back in action on June 21st right here for Voltage in the San Rosa County Auditorium. Did you tell him that, Donnie? I got to do that for you, too.
Like the Marshal said, we will be back in action in June right here for CWF Voltage. Of course, that'll be streaming live on YouTube. You can watch us all around the world. If you don't catch us in person, watch all of our live streams. And now,
I'd really like to see Casey do that to you.
the pain of the Flowhawk is alive and well with those chops. I've been told by my broadcast partner, Darion Drummond, that those chops are the most painful
Good
maneuver you can
Lord.
endure inside a ring.
There is some malice behind it. I know these two men, they don't hate each other because they don't have a history, but Casey Navarro is first class. Casey Navarro is blessed, and he is blessing Flo with a very red chest, almost as pink as Navarro's head.
This crowd chanting one more time.
Oh,
Flo thought better of that. Not going to give the people what they want, but they're
Yes.
still cheering nonetheless as he lays the onslaught onto Navarro. Reverse Irish whip, Flo into the ropes, and a perfect 10 drop kick.
look at that.
Onto
Oh, we're
the-
being joined here
By
by
the former champion.
Darion Drummond has joined us. My
Hello,
favorite announcer
hello.
on the commentary team, sir. Good to see you.
How you doing, boss man?
I'm trying to teach Donnie how to do his job. Donnie, talk about what's going on in the match.
What is going on inside the match is you are seeing first-class competition. Casey Navarro, all the way from TNA, going to work on the former champion, the Flowhawk, Justin Flo, laying in those strikes. Flowhawk concentrating on that left arm. A lot of people may remember that left arm also got some injuries last month.
I see. He looks like he's got a little bit of numbness in his shoulder. It might make it hard for him to kick out.
Yeah, it's just like that Kimura lock I was in earlier tonight. You know, Drummond, I heard Donnie over here just giggling and laughing when I was locked in that Kimura earlier tonight.
I was not giggling and laughing.
He may have insinuated that compared you, if you will, to some dirty laundry.
I did not compare him to dirty
Really?
laundry.
The proof
know,
is right
folks,
here in the records.
He's wearing white pants, but I think there's a little bit of yellow because he pissed himself.
Well, right now, Navarro pissing all over Flowhawk there, metaphorically speaking, going for the pin.
Wow. PG show, Donnie, PG.
I tried to
PG
tell him, he
show.
just doesn't listen.
He does.
Got caught up in the moment there.
Yep.
And you see once again the left wing of Flowhawk. I saw him grimacing there, a little clutching onto it.
Kicking out of that onslaught, but how much is taken out of him to do it?
Yeah.
Navarro going to try to end it right here, but
Oh.
sliding into the other side. Oh,
What a kick.
Still got enough energy for some
Boot to the
dodge
head.
moves.
Oh.
And a boot
Oh.
to the head to Navarro. He's perched up high.
Oh.
The Flowhawk
no.
now.
Not the part of town you want to be in. Gravity is nobody's friend.
Hurricanrana off the top.
I don't think we've ever seen a Flowhawk do that here in the CWF.
Nirvana was flying clear across the ring.
It's Navarro, not Nirvana.
I
Navarro
try to tell him,
so-
he just doesn't listen. He's hard-headed.
Navarro being slung clear across the ring. And now the Flowhawk slamming the mat, trying to get the blood pumping in those wings.
This
and
building,
those arms.
this building is rocking, folks. If you're not here with us tonight, you're missing one hell of a show. TNA's Casey Navarro and Justin Flo, a man who, I gotta be honest, he's kind of surprising me with the guts he's showing here, but he's doing one hell of a job against TNA's Casey Navarro.
A world-class athlete he's going up against. The world is watching at this moment.
Not just world class, first class.
Well, these two putting a first-class competition right in the middle of the ring, showing that the lengths that a man will go to get a shot at the CWF Championship, the most prestigious prize here in the Florida Panhandle.
Is he going to go for a kill shot?
Oh, there you go. He called it.
Bouncing off the ropes.
No.
Oh, colliding into the Flowhawk. The Flowhawk colliding into Navarro once again. Bouncing off the ropes. Hitting him with the knee.
Neck breaker.
Neck breaker onto Navarro. And
So hard that he popped right back up.
Is he gonna pull this out? There's no way.
could
There's
very
no-
well be right here. Flowhawk's going to have to do it on his own. Doesn't have the Enterprise backing him up, but I'd say he's doing a good job so far.
He doesn't have the Enterprise because I took it from him.
Turning around.
Flow-ins. I think that's what he calls it, right? Flow-ins?
Well, flowing perhaps right into the end of this match.
No.
No!
Not so fast.
Navarro has kicked out. That is what you get from some of the best that TNA has to offer.
Can we just talk about this house here tonight? These people are blowing the roof off of the San Jose County Auditorium.
We love
That then so blowing it hard, so hard that it's kind of erupting a little bit and little leaks coming through. That's how thunderous it is in the building.
And Donnie's over here spitting.
from the second row,
Oh.
but caught by
Not so
Navarro.
fast.
Turning him around, slamming right into the mat. Navarro not done.
Good
Spinning
Lord.
kick to the face. Hooking
That's
both
it.
legs. No.
Oh my
no.
God. All right. Okay.
Marshall, you spoke too soon. It ain't over yet.
Listen, I've been to war with the Flowhawk before, man, and I'll tell you, he is relentless. He doesn't stop.
But look at Flo's face. Look at Flo. Every kick out takes a little bit more.
Yes, it does. How much does a Flowhawk have left in the tank?
Navarro is wondering, what do I got to do? What maneuver do I got to pull from my repertoire to put this man away?
Digging deep, trying to get back to his feet. And KC looking once again to put it away.
Oh,
Didn't do anything there. Flowhawk leapfrogging over the Flowhawk. Kick now to the Flowhawk's face. A kick now to his face.
there's no way he's going to win this match, guys.
Coast to coast.
Coast to coast indeed, and we're not talking about an all-night first-class flight. Speaking of flight,
He's lucky there's no teeth in the front row.
Is Navarro going to fly and land on the Flowhawk?
you could be speaking prophetic words, Marshall
Always.
Briggs.
But you know what
Navarro,
goes
there he
on?
goes. But the Flowhawk out of the way. Connecting with the leg.
He's calling for it. I've felt this. This is a
From the
devastating
second row.
maneuver. Oh, right
Planted
on the
his
head.
face, right in the
But he's
middle.
all right, it's all
Oh, wait a
right.
minute.
Oh, look who it is.
Orion.
Look who
Orion
it
now on
is.
the outside.
Oh. It's
Catching the attention of the Flowhawk.
It's the CWF champion, Donnie. How do you feel about this?
He's got to keep his eye on the ball, though.
I know.
Flowhawk better turn around and quit concentrating. Quit concentrating on the Vision Orion.
Letting his emotions get the better of him. It could cost him this match.
Navarro now back up to his
Navarro's
feet.
up.
3 out 5. And now, executed
it.
perfectly into
One,
a pin.
2,
And he got
3.
it.
Done.
That's it.
Here is your winner, KC Navarro.
Tell you what, I'll give it to him. You know, he failed like he does without the Enterprise backing him up, but he put up one hell of a fight, Drummond.
He was given a chance, and here he just blew it.
But wait, let's look here. KC does not look too happy about the interference from Orion. You guys remember what they said earlier tonight?
Yes, the Vision Orion telling KC to look for some other championship, and now the Vision Orion just picking the bones of the Flowhawk.
Oh,
KC Navarro now inserting himself between his future opponent and his former opponent.
could we see KC Navarro?
I don't know if I agree with this. I would just take the win and walk away.
But
course
KC
you
Navarro, he's an honorable man. I mean, he's...
KC saying enough of that. The match is over. The man lost. He's endured enough.
Is it possible that Justin Flo has earned the respect
Oh.
of Navarro?
And a shove there from the Vision Orion. And now these two, as the kids like to say, got beef.
He may not have to wait for them to start throwing hands.
Oh,
Well, Navarro throwing the first hand and the second hand and the third. And now trying to throw a kick, but the Vision Orion
Getting
saw
out of
that
town.
vision coming. And as you said,
Wow.
Darion, getting out of town.
wow. What do we have here?
He's asking for a
He
microphone,
wants a
Donnie.
mic, Donnie. Go give him a mic. God, gotta tell him to do everything here, huh?
He's hard-headed. He doesn't listen.
What is this? You think I'm gonna go hand him the mic?
I don't think he likes his job, to be honest.
But I didn't need your help. And not for nothing. He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. Hey, look. I know that I earned myself in the title now. Yeah, I did.
He did.
Matter of fact, since you want the credit, you helped me get it. So thanks. I'll see you soon. March your ass in the back. What, you got a match, Ralph?
Wow. Wow.
This crowd approving of that matchup between Flowhawk and Navarro. I'd say it was.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, like I said, the Flowhawk, he's got some heart.
Just some flow in there, huh? Hey, man, hold on. Pardon me? He sucked.
I didn't think so.
It was a good match, you don't like him. Okay. You don't like him. It sucked. Okay, but he sucked.
It did not suck.
That's Mama Sims. The only reason she's booing is because he's...
Okay, let's just call it what it is. It's probably because my hair is better than his. Let's just call it what it is.
Well, I'm not too educated on
man.
hairstyles, so.
That's clear. He goes to Supercuts on discount day.
He may have sucked,
I've seen the receipts.
but you can't deny
Why are you going through my sock drawer?
he's a hell of a talent.
How much was that haircut, Donnie? $3.99? You paid $3 too much.
At all. Let me introduce myself. I'm KC Navarro. And next week will be 10 years since I've been wrestling. It was a long uphill battle for me. I was never the big guy. So obviously, you understand what that's like. I fought from the bottom. Nobody wanted to see me at the top. But you know what got me to TNA?
You know what got me against guys like Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder? You know what got me against guys like beating Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler? You know what got me against guys like the Hardy Boys on pay-per-view? Was guys that were in my position at that time that gave guys like you a shot. I didn't have to come here tonight. I haven't been home. I'm home maybe 2 days a week. It's the worst. It sucks. But I said this in a promo a few weeks ago on a show. You guys, all of you, are so important to all of this.
There you go.
Tells the truth.
Some of them are.
Because of you guys, guys like me, hear about places like this and go, man, I'm off on TV this week. Oh, I can wrestle in front of a really fun, hot crowd in Milton, Florida? And it makes me want to come out. And then when guys like Ben reach out to guys like me and say, hey,
Who's Ben?
he's a really good
He's a
guy.
little confused.
Ben is.
Look, you. I heard about you. I saw what
I think he's
you did.
related to the Marshal.
You thought what I was saying to you about that 300-day reign, you thought I was making fun of him? Nah, man. You know what that means for a company to trust you for over 300 days with a championship title? That means, homie, you're next up. You're next to be on TV, bro. And a lot of guys will wrestle you. And a lot of guys won't sit here in front of all these people and wait till they get to the back and they'll give you some story. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. You're gonna be where I'm at or even higher soon enough. I was down on so much time, bro. But you know what, man? I stayed humble. And I remember what got me to the dance, and it wasn't the matches. It wasn't even just my self-belief. It wasn't God, no, man. It was the people that got me there. Because I promise you, your voices are a lot louder than you actually think. And if a company like TNA hears about him, hears about this match, and hears the reaction from all of you, maybe you'll see him a lot less here. Not because he doesn't want to be here, because he's going to go to TV and make all of you proud for believing in him. All the talent. You don't know how to spell flow, but that's okay. We'll work on that. We'll work on it.
That's Milton for you.
I don't say this to a lot
I think he's
of
from
people.
Louisiana.
Truthfully, I want to be only me. He said it before. Justin Flo. You're blessed, man. I can't wait to see what you do.
Well, Justin Flo didn't get the victory, but he got the blessing from KC Navarro. And gentlemen, if you ask me, that is a victory in and of itself.
He has one victory in his. I wouldn't even call that a victory that he has, and he speaks for everyone.
I'll give it to him. You know, when I brought Navarro in, I didn't think the Flowhawk had a chance, but he did put up one hell of a fight here tonight. Drummond, normally we agree, but I think he earned the respect. What's he want now? Okay. See? I think he earned the respect of Navarro right here tonight, and a lot of people around the world. Justin Flo, former CWF champion. I'll give it to him. I put a hurdle in front of him, and he cleared it. He cleared it, Darion.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking another short intermission, but then coming up after that intermission, in the main event, the Vision Orion defends his title against two competitors. One being a competitor that we saw here not too long ago, the Shark Cruz Rivera, and another competitor named Jay Villa, who's essentially making his debut here. These two men, you know, you're getting a shot from the Vision Orion, who doesn't want to sit on his laurels. He wants to defend that title day in and day out. That match is coming up after this intermission.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, before you go, Darion, you know, the CWF is all about opportunity. It's all about opportunity. What you just saw between Justin Flo and Casey Navarro, both of you, Casey and Flo, is going to be out of character for me. One hell of a job here tonight entertaining all these people.
Well, as you see two hungry competitors getting ready for their championship match with Orion, you got to keep in mind that the champion does not have to be pinned to lose this title.
It's true. That's
Could
true.
we see the Vision lose the title tonight?
Against two debuting CWF stars right here tonight, Donnie.
It could very well happen. The odds are stacked against the Vision Orion, but the Vision Orion, a multi-year veteran, has held titles all over the world, and now by holding the CWF title, adding his prestige to an already prestigious title. Gentlemen, I'm just excited to see what happens here in the main event. I'm sure you two are as well.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let's go to intermission. Check out all of our socials. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Hit us up. Follow the CWF. This is what you're going to see every single month if you come to a CWF live event. You get to see the Marshall. You get to see Darion Drummond. You have to, well, if you're here live, you don't have to listen to Donnie. That should sell tickets in itself. Donnie, take us away right to intermission.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, having fun here tonight at CWF Conspiracy.
Good job out there, man.
Guess it's up to say, you got to do this on your own, kid. And doing it on his own, he's doing. Beautiful drop kick from Jack McGuire. Jack McGuire from the second rope for the crossbody. Getting caught by Dirk Darkson, who's a legal man for the first time in this matchup.
The power of Dirk.
That power we saw on display last month as well as earlier in the evening. Now, Colt Mason. Colt Mason flying high, getting caught by Dirk.
Man, that big should not fly, but
Now Jack
Wait,
McGuire
what's happening? More
for the second rope. Crossbody on top of him. Jack McGuire, the legal man, almost getting the pinfall. Now we should mention that the tag titles are not on the line, but if Jack McGuire and Colt Mason,
what is his issue?
I don't know.
Why?
He's a very enthusiastic young man.
Why is he so hyper?
Well, he's happy to be here in the Coastal Wrestling
This is why you
Federation.
shouldn't have sugar before a match.
Well, Ronan Laveau back now.
And speaking
going to-
of sugar, looks like he's looking for a kiss goodnight on Mr. Manson here.
gut wrench there on the Colt Mason. Covering him up, going to the pinfall. No, only a 2 count. Colt Mason clutching onto that back there. And I don't think I'm assuming that Colt Mason and Jack McGuire, they haven't teamed as much because it didn't seem that they were in sync there, keep tagging each other out. Meanwhile, Ronan and Dirk very much tagging in, tagging out. No doubt possibly have been educated in tag teaming by Ellie there, who's just really hasn't said anything, just watching with pride there over her 2 proteges, who are now the tag team champions. This match, their official debut.
And when you install that much knowledge into these competitors, you don't need to say anything ringside. You just tell them backstage and let it do the work for them.
Doing the work indeed has Colt Mason in enemy territory. Now Dirk tagging himself back in.
Quick in and out tags, and these two are quickly working as a tag team.
Drop toe hold, bouncing off the ropes, colliding with the knee. Senton now on a Colt Mason, and it could be over. No, kick out at 2.
These are not small men being hit hard. Letting gravity do the work.
Both, I would estimate that both Dirk and Ronan stand well over 6 foot, probably about 6'3" apiece, give or take an inch.
Hey, his mom had a big boy. You know, he loves his mom.
Dirk Darkson does indeed love his mom. Shout out to Mama Darkson, wherever she may be.
And she's still in tears after seeing her baby boy win tag team gold.
And now, Dream Girl Ellie attacking Colt Mason. Jack McGuire trying to encourage referee Jay Blanchard to turn around.
If somebody interfered but the referee doesn't see it, did it really happen?
Of course it happened. Me and you both saw it happen.
The referee didn't see it.
Well, Colt's trying to shake it off and go back to work on Dirk Darkson. Both men now. Colt was perhaps trying to reach out there for Jack McGuire, but if Jack McGuire's an inch, he's a mile away. Scooping him up. Slamming him
Power
down.
slam.
Only a 2 count.
And not quite enough to put him away.
What a statement it would be from Dirk and Ronan. They went going for a small package, almost got the pinfall. What a statement it would be for Colt and Jack if they get a victory over the tag team champions. You got to think, if they get a victory in a non-title matchup, they're going to be the first in line for a title shot against our new champion.
You would think. But don't forget, there's a little thing called rematch. That wouldn't count Marshall and Nathan out quite yet.
Well, right now, Jack hopping around like a racehorse ready to leave the stable, wants to get tagged in. Colt going to the opposite side of the ring,
Here
though.
comes the Ronan.
Ronan Laveau. All these men trained at the Dark Arts
Get
Gym.
the wherewithal. He
So you gotta
didn't
admit,
realize where he was.
they probably know each other very well. And now Colt trying to reach for Jack McGuire.
And not quite.
Dirk gonna have none of that, though.
Old Mason got a tag.
McGuire going to work on Ronan, not once, but twice. Jack McGuire fighting like an angry slinky, throwing him into the corner.
What?
Now, from the second row, waving, flying high, and dropping it right down on Ronan. Gonna go for the pin. No, didn't get it.
So Jay and Jack are angry slinkies.
They're fighting like one, and now Jack had more offense going, but Colt tagged himself back in.
What are they arguing at? Hit them. Hit the opponent.
I don't.
He could have delivered the move anyway.
I
And now
guess-
that your opponent got the tag, they're too busy arguing.
A boot there from Dirk Darkson. As we said, Colt was trying to getting a trip there from Jack McGuire. Jack McGuire up and over and landing on top of Dirk Darkson. Colt now the legal man
Discus clothesline.
and clotheslines his own partner. What the heck, Colt?
Hey, sometimes when you tag yourself in over and over again, it comes to a boiling point. You saw when he first came out there, he did not like being interrupted during his entrance.
Well, Colt,
As a matter of fact, a situation like this looks very familiar.
Colt now going to the outside. Jack McGuire, the legal man, now at the mercy of Dirk Darkson. Up on the shoulders.
Thunderous move.
Thunderous move indeed. And that's all she wrote.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, Orion and Darkson.
Well, I thought the momentum was back in the corner of Colt Mason and Jack McGuire, but Colt just, I guess, taking exception with the antics of Jack McGuire and clotheslining him almost nearly out of his boot.
Oh, hold on. What's happening here?
Well, all three men staring down at that kid, and now all three men putting the boots in Jack McGuire. What is up with this?
Now, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
What did that kid do to deserve this?
He ate sugar before a match. Now you got to get it
Somebody
stomped
get
out
in
of.
here and help that kid. And wait a minute, Marshall Briggs and Nathan Sims coming to the aid of Jack McGuire. Nathan Sims and Marshall Briggs, who lost the tag titles to Ronan and Dirk earlier in the evening, trying to get their hands on them.
Like I said,
Dirk and
don't
Ronan.
count Marshall and Nathan out just yet.
Dirk and Ronan was heading to lower ground and making their retreat. But CWF Conspiracy is their night. Win the titles in an impromptu match and pick up the victory over Colt Mason and Jack McGuire. Referee Jay Blanchard now checking on Jack.
Well, I think you of all people might know better than most, and I think these two will find out you don't want to make an enemy out of the Marshal.
Well, they have done just that. They have made that mistake when they inserted themselves in that matchup.
All smiles right now, but you know what they say.
We are going to see a war later on, ladies and gentlemen, I assure you. Nothing is settled between our new tag team champions and the Enterprise. Marshall and Nathan now going to check on this young kid, Jack McGuire. Jack McGuire, who just was on fire in that ring. This kid bouncing all over. You know,
That's because he was on a sugar rush.
Going toe-to-toe with men who are much bigger and much stronger than him. And let's give the kid a round of applause. I look forward to seeing Jack McGuire in a CWF ring again.
What I look forward to is a comeuppance that Ronan and Mr. Dirk are in store for later on here in CWF.
Well,
The
this
new
crowd,
tag team champions have a storm coming towards them.
well, Nathan Sims and Marshall Briggs passing by the announcer tables there. And Jack McGuire, the only man left in the ring. But he certainly earned the admiration of these fans here in the CWF. And it's, as I said, I look forward to seeing Jack McGuire again in a CWF ring. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event. It is going to be a triple threat match as our new champion, the Vision Orion, puts the CWF Championship on the line against not one, but two competitors. The first being the Shark Cruz Rivera, who last month got a victory over Dirk Darkson in their debut matchup. And also, we have the debuting, the Black Sheep, Jay Villa, also getting a shot at the CWF Championship in his debut matchup here.
You see, the theme of the night seems to be opportunity. We got a bunch of new guys coming in, taking opportunity left and right. We saw earlier brand new tag team champions. Could we see a brand new CWF champion here tonight?
We did see a new T1 champion. Congratulations again, Johnny.
No, no.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event of CWF Conspiracy 2025. And do not forget, we will be back in action here at the SRC Auditorium June 21st for CWF Voltage. But now, it's
Get your
championship.
tickets right now. What are you waiting for? Go do your job, Donnie.
Ladies and gentlemen, have we had a good time here tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, what you have experienced here, what you have seen, what you have felt, that is what you get each and every time that you come to a CWF event. And hey folks, we know you got jobs, you got lives, but on this night, you chose to share them with us, to come here and share on what we do with everyone here in the locker room. I'd like to say thank you. Just a little bit. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like and share because, as I said, our live stream is being seen all over the world. And if you can't see it here in person, go to your buddy and say, hey, check out this link. Look and see what the CWF can do. You can watch it from the comfort of your own home, relive all the action, and do not forget, folks, that action will be back in action right here June 21st at the SRC Auditorium. We bring on the next event, that being CWF Voltage. But now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, are you ready for our main event? The following contest is our main event of CWF Conspiracy. Will all three competitors please come to the ring?
As you see, the Shark made his way to the ring, and now the Black Sheep makes his way to the ring as well, making his CWF debut in the main event of Conspiracy. Trying to capture some CWF gold against this man. Here at Conspiracy, the lights are on bright as the Vision walks into the ring. Will one of these two young competitors walk out with CWF gold? Or will they be blinded by the light? Well, the Vision telling Donnie exactly where he can go. You better take good care of that title. Don't put a scratch on it, Donnie. You heard what he said, Donnie. Don't ding up that title.
Trust me, I handle that title like it is my firstborn child, my only born child. That title is the pinnacle of everything that men aspire to when they step into the CWF.
Oh no, what's happening here?
Well, the Shark, Cruz Rivera, and Jay Villa might... Wait a minute. Orion putting his hand between them, saying like, The Shark, Cruz Rivera, debuted and had his debut last month. He picked up a victory over Dirk Darkson.
Seems
Jay
both of them
Villa
want a piece of the dark sheet right now, though.
Jay Villa making his debut, and it looks like Orion is trying to encourage these two competitors. We're doing a three-way
test of strength.
A three-way test of strength. I've never seen this before. Wonder who's going to give first. Looks like it's the Vision Orion. Having a vision of pain here from these other two.
And he said not so fast. That's the experience of the Vision.
The Vision trying to concentrate on Cruz Rivera, but Cruz Rivera now concentrating on Jay Villa. Jay Villa's got, who's got who here? Looks like Jay Villa jumping up and over into a headlock. The Vision did up and over, leapfrog now. A shoulder tackle from Jay Villa.
Arm drop.
Up and over,
Hip
up and over
tosses,
the
excuse
Vision
me.
goes. And now
Out goes-
Vision up and outside the ring. Trying to get back in.
Well, I think we found out who had who.
Getting a double drop kick there. And now Cruz Rivera and Jay Villa can just concentrate on each other. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one fall to a finish. You don't have to pin the champion to win the title. You just got to pin someone.
And I think they should do it very quickly before Orion gets back to his feet.
Cruz Rivera, 2.5 years in the business, picked up his first win last month, and now has a chance to win CWF Gold here in the main event. Schoolboy there, but not quite. Jay Villa making his debut for us here and getting a title shot. Both these men also
Jay Villa,
students of
Jay
the Dark
Villa
Arts
is a
Gym.
very interesting name. I kind of like it.
Of course it would appeal to you. I'm growing somewhat partial to the Shark Cruz Rivera.
Of course,
And
you're
now
a very
Jay-
biased competitor. Sorry, commentator. That's why.
Jay Villa now going to the outside. Vision now back in. Bouncing off the ropes.
Down
Cross
he
body onto
goes.
Cruz Rivera. Jay Villa trying to get back in. Oh, and the face of the Vision Orion
Straight into
catching
the edge of the ring. Hardest part, some might say.
Up and over, Jay Villa goes into a
Sunset
pin
over.
attempt.
Could
No.
it be? Nope.
Tilt-a-whirl into a tilt-a-whirl of sorts. Jay Villa now the outside. Cruz Rivera bouncing off the ropes.
Flying
Jumping!
shark.
And flying shark indeed. Right into the Vision Orion.
What the shark jumping bull?
Trip the shark now. Orion back in the ring. Colliding into Cruz Rivera. Picking up speed from the second rope. And his feet colliding into Jay Villa. Now both men on the
More
outside.
specifically, his face as his back collides with the edge of the ring.
That's a great way to neutralize a threat. And now it's a one-on-one matchup. Cruz Rivera getting the forearms from the Vision Orion. Throwing him into the ropes.
A rapid onslaught followed by a spinning wheel kick
Cruz able to kick out.
to no avail.
Cruz trying to, in his very second match here in the CWF, win gold. The Vision Orion giving a great opportunity to both these young competitors. Both men, students in the Dark Arts Gym. Both men have been trained by Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, and how proud those two would be if either of these men were able to win the championship.
One of them is a champion herself.
Able to kick out at 2 there. The Vision Orion trying to end it. Orion taking a moment. Going to work on the leg now of Cruz Rivera. On that left ankle. Trying to twist it till it points magnetic north.
What is a shark that can't swim?
Well, it's very smart. Not only is he twisting that left leg of Cruz Rivera, but he has all his weight planted down on the other foot, so Cruz can't go anywhere. Well, going anywhere right now.
Going 2 for 1, working on both ankles. But
About knocking
with
the
a
taste.
shot to the face.
About knocked him out. Not taste of his mouth, knocked him out of the ring. Jay Villa now back in there. Scooping him up, slamming him down. Jay Villa off the ropes. Leg drop onto the defending champion. Could have a new champion right here. No!
A big boy dropping his leg straight on Orion's chest, but not good enough to keep him down.
Orion getting thrown into the ropes. Don't know what Jay Villa had planned there,
Could
but
have
it
been
didn't
looking
work.
for a spine buster, but to no avail. And
the
springboard
rope.
drop kick.
A beautiful springboard drop kick, and it about knocked the head off of Jay Villa. Cruz now on the outside, his opportunity to become a new champion slipping away.
He's got to get back in the ring. He can't win the title out there.
Jay Villa laid out in the middle of the ring.
But at the same time, it could be a smart strategy. Wait for the right moment to strike.
From
As
the
we
second
see right
row,
here,
catching Cruz Rivera, who catches him into a backslide. No, only a 2 count.
very nice. Looking for a spinning DDT, but could
Was
not.
going for the Sharknado, but wasn't able to quite get it. Getting caught now.
I don't
Good
know what
night,
that
that's
was,
all
but
she
it
wrote.
was nasty.
The Vision Orion able to come up with new moves right on the spot. Never seen that myself, but it did the damage to the back of the head of Cruz Rivera.
Back of his head coming straight down to the tip of Orion's knee. That will knock you loopy when you get smacked in the back of your head like that, especially on a hard part of the body like the knee.
Cruz Rivera getting hit so hard, I think his favorite color is 7 now. Orion showing no respect to these fans. I already caught his bad moon. I don't even know what I did wrong.
You know what you did wrong. Keeping a hold of the wrist, you can deliver a lot of damage doing that.
Not if you let go, which is what Orion did. Jay Villa still not in this. From the second rope, Jay Villa stopping him. Jay Villa back in this. Going to work now on Orion, not once, but twice. Almost hitting the referee. Now connecting. Beautiful maneuver onto the Orion, but no. Orion able to kick out at the last second.
Now coming in with the energy, but I don't know if I agree with this. I think I would wait for him to deliver that kill shot, toss him out the ring, and just pick up the scraps.
Well, I think Jay Villa was on the outside. He was catching his breath. He was picking his moment, and his moment is now. In his debut match, he could possibly win the CWF
The strength
Championship.
of Jay Villa,
The
but the quickness and experience of Orion.
and the precision of Orion. Enziguri onto the champion who's
We
down
gotta
on a
talk
one
about
knee.
the quickness of Shark.
Shark obliviated. That could be all she wrote. Yes, no. Shark got hit with the maneuver, but Jay Villa was able to break up the pin. Orion now.
Another thing about the triple threat, you deliver one kill shot, you got to make sure the other one isn't there to break it up.
Orion perhaps now going to follow that strategy. Now that Rivera is needing those ropes to get back up to his feet.
Like, I, for one, know how challenging triple threat matches are. I've won championships in the past in the triple threat, and I have lost them without being part of the decision.
Both men now concentrating on a common enemy, only for a second.
That's another danger of it.
It missed Jay Villa, but it connected on Orion.
You find yourself on 2-on-1 situations,
Jay Villa.
but they never last long,
Going
and neither
for it.
will this match. It looks like
Wasn't able to get it in. Tilting him around. Slamming him into the knee.
but Orion's
Orion with a boot to the head. Catching it from the Shark, Cruz Rivera.
looks like the
But
Shark
both
is a rough rider.
But all 3 men are spent in the middle of the ring.
Someone's
Neither
got to
man can
roll over and find the
capitalize.
cover.
This crowd chanting, clapping their hands. Cruz Rivera seems to be showing signs of life, as is Orion.
Jay
Villa
Villa's
as
starting
well.
to work up to his feet as well.
Orion has Rivera by the hair. Orion from the second row, connecting right into Jay Villa. Jay Villa
Right with
saw
a
his
thunderous
opportunity.
forearm to the face, and
Cruz Rivera,
He better
he
turn
has
around.
a chance if Jay Villa turns around.
nice athletic move.
Swinging neck breaker on a Jay Villa, but Jay Villa going to the outside too.
Smart rolling to the outside. Can't get pinned out there,
And to the outside.
but that could happen.
All 3 men crashing down onto the outside. Rivera now throwing Orion back in. Rivera now going up to the high-ranked district. And Orion saying, not on my watch.
Showing right there, sharks do not fly.
But they do hang there like dirty laundry on the
But
line.
what is with you in dirty laundry? You have problems.
Orion now concentrating on Rivera.
Jay Villa back in the game.
Up and over Orion goes. From the second row. Connected.
Counter to a spine buster.
He connected, and it's
Barely.
not over.
Barely got his shoulder up. I think all three of these men are spent. Jay Villa wondering what he needs to do.
Jay Villa, he has an opportunity. He has a moment. Rivera is trying to catch his breath, but now he's trying to climb back up to the top rope. And Jay Villa is saying none of that. Rivera barely hanging on. Still trying to get perched up high.
You know how much I disagree with this strategy going to the top rope. In this ring, gravity is nobody's friend.
Gravity is nobody's friend indeed, but it looks like Jay Villa is going to try to work it, or one of these men is going to try to work it to their benefit. And that man is Orion, a German suplex right off the top, delivered beautifully by our defending champion.
And looking to drop. Oh! Face planted.
Face planted, it could be
There's a
over.
flank.
Rivera crashing on top of Jay Villa.
Does that
Was
make it
trying to get hold of Orion. Orion trying to hit it, but instead hitting on top of Jay Villa. Almost got the pin. Rivera stopping it.
So would have that been a shark splash?
I don't even know at this point. But what I do know is Rivera. It could be his opportunity. Going for the Sharknado, but didn't quite get it. Into the ropes. German suplex from Orion.
Use the momentum to pop right back.
Sharknado! Sharknado under the champion! But a clothesline for Jay Villa. Jay Villa going for the pin. No!
Shut down the Sharknado like Jay Villa's name was Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, I can make references too, Donald.
Well, right now, all I'm going to reference is that these men are laying it all on the line. They are doing whatever it takes to be the CWF champion, the CWF belt, the most precious prize in the Florida Panhandle. Jay Villa could just be a moment away from having it around his waist, pushing Orion into the ropes, but Orion answering with a super kick. A super kick now onto Orion, who's staggering behind Jay Villa. Up and over, Rivera goes into Jay Villa, going for a pin.
He almost screwed himself there with that maneuver.
And a kick from Orion ends it. And now, throwing him into the ropes.
Pop up into Jay Villa.
Jay Villa answers the bomb.
Boom.
Blinding lights! Blinding lights on a Jay Villa!
Ball
And it's
game.
over!
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your winner and still CWF champion, the Vision, Orion.
The Vision Orion has successfully defended his title for the first time against not one, but two very hungry competitors.
Making a statement.
In those two hungry competitors in Cruz Rivera and Jay Villa. Jay Villa and Cruz Rivera,
But you
showing what they are made of at the Dark Arts Gym. They gave everything to try to win the CWF Championship.
But you
from
got
Orion.
to remember, laying in wait is a very hungry Casey Navarro.
Casey Navarro has picked up the victory, and Orion
And Orion's picking up a chair.
grabbing the chair, and What's he going to do with that? And a steel chair onto the back of Rivera and into the frame. But now, Flowhawk back in this. Attacking the Vision Orion. The Flowhawk wanting revenge for what Orion did by interfering in his matchup. And now,
Here comes
Casey Navarro. Casey Navarro coming to the aid of the Flowhawk. Casey Navarro, who now has a shot against the Vision Orion, and now our
Dark
tag team
Horse and Navaro.
champions are coming out. They're attacking Navarro and Marshall, Nathan Sims and Rob Ocho.
Here comes the Enterprise.
Attacking. The Enterprise now making their presence known. Marshall Briggs on the outside. Nathan Sims and Rob Ocho clearing house.
Ellie wants to get in the face of the Marshall. It looks like
And a super kick
What
onto
is-
Nathan Sims. A super kick onto Rob Ocho. Being delivered by the CWF champion, who is not getting on Marshall Briggs' good side.
took out the same Enterprise that brought him here.
Up and over he goes. Flowhawk getting a measure of revenge on Orion.
All kinds of chaos going on here. I'm not even sure what's happening.
What is happening
We got
is that the stalwarts,
we have
the seasoned competitors, the CWF, and Casey Navarro are standing in the ring.
looks like an impasse. We got the Dark Arch crew, the Enterprise, Casey Navarro, and the Flowhawk.
The Flowhawk holding onto the belt that he lost to the Vision Orion, holding it up as just a promise that one day this will be mine again. Saying, here you go, it's yours for right now.
Now we see them standing in the ring with the Enterprise. Could things be welding? Could wounds be melting with the Enterprise and the Flowhawk?
Well, nothing heals a wound quite like a common enemy.
Casey Navarro trying to make sense of this whole thing. Orion looking to bite the hand that fed him.
Well, Rob Ocho, Nathan Sims, Casey Navarro, and our former champion